Ann Arbor. You're watching Primetime Lacrosse on Big Ten Network. And this evening, it is senior day for the Wolverines. Michael Boehm, the all-time leading scorer in Michigan history, trying to wrap up his home career with a win. Justin Tiernan burst on the scene for the Wolverines this year, the nation's leading scorer, but they will be challenged by Ross Scott and Rutgers, a team that has beaten Michigan 8 consecutive times, and maybe the best midfielder in the country, Shane Knobloch. Emotions will be high tonight in Game 3 of Big Ten play. Senior day for number 16 Michigan going against Rutgers, playing for their first Big Ten win, while Michigan can move to 2-1 in Big Ten play this evening. And it is great to have you with us. Jack Kizer alongside Mark Dixon. This series has been close, but it's been one-sided in favor of Rutgers. But Mark, the firepower that Michigan has offensively, they feel like they could get it done tonight.
Without question. And when you look at the way the seasons, particularly Big Ten play, has progressed for each ball club, Rutgers hungry for their first conference win. They want to stay out of that 5-6 hole if they can for the Big Ten men's lacrosse tournament. Michigan, meanwhile, it's senior night. And this is a senior class that has won a Big Ten championship, won an NCAA tournament game. One thing they have not done, they haven't knocked off Rutgers. They would like nothing better than to beat the Scarlet Knights here tonight.
There's a lot of emotion in this game on a variety of fronts. It's going to be a ton of fun. And for Rutgers, Colin Cardilla, he might be the Big Ten Freshman of the Year.
When you look at this Rutgers team, they feature a couple high-profile freshmen, Carden Stoller, the netminder, and big number 88, Colin Cardilla, a homegrown talent from the state of New Jersey, reminiscent of another midfielder, and his line mate, Shane Knobloch. He can score, he can feed, and this is a prime candidate for Big Ten Freshman of the Year. On the other side, Michigan, you want to talk about a graduate student, the transfer from Lehigh, Justin Tiernan, leading the NCAA in goals coming into this weekend with 40. He's a terrific inside presence, and he can also beat you with athleticism.
Those guys will test the goalies tonight. And Carden Stoller, redshirt freshman, head coach Brian Breck said he's going to need to be better than good in Big Ten play. He'll need to make 15 to 20 saves some nights. He might have to do that tonight. As for Michigan, they have Hunter Taylor in goal. Really came on strong at the end of last season. Been a bit of a tough 4-game stretch for him, but he has experience, and they're relying on Taylor to help carry them to the postseason once again. And we are underway. Justin Wheatfeld, the best face-off man in the Big Ten, wins it for Michigan.
Yeah, now Rowlett and Michigan have a decided advantage at the dot tonight. We'll see if they can trend that way, but a good win for Wheatfeld early on. And nice crowd has assembled here. Beautiful night in Ann Arbor. I guess what we say this time of year when we're in this part of the country, it could be worse.
Absolutely. 50 degrees and cloudy is not bad at all for Michigan. Should be a fun one tonight. Both teams coming off losses. This has been a very close series, as we touched on. The last 3 have been exactly 13-12 in favor of Rutgers.
Yeah, close games in the series, but obviously Rutgers owning it. Michigan, their lone win in this series since joining the Big Ten back in 2015, when offensive coordinator Scott Beaton, now with Michigan, was a Rutgers Scarlet Knight. He scored 2 goals in that game.
It's been a long time. Bouncer, and it's blocked. Well done by Stoller to start. Ball still down and scooped up by the Scarlet Knights. In transition here. This is a team that likes to play up-tempo. Here's the first shot, and a score! Rutgers on the board first, and it's Dante Koulis.
This team may be 0-2 in Big Ten play, but they have come into Ann Arbor to get that first conference win. It starts with Carden Stoller making a great save, and then you mentioned this is a Rutgers offense that likes to strike early. great recognition. Mason Edwards led the run out. Dante Koulis curled around, takes the feed, and he pots it. Rutgers with the early marker.
His 10th goal, and Rutgers has make it take it here.
Big face-off win. If you can stack goals, obviously, in any game, you're doing the right thing. But this is a Rutgers team that has two things going for it. One, they're motivated, winless in the Big Ten. Two, history is on their side when it comes to this series with the University of Michigan. That's the mental component of this game that we talked to Kevin Connery this week, that his guys are hungry for it. They have to believe they can do it. Now it's just time to execute.
How real is that mental component against one opponent?
It's a very real thing. We saw it last week, Penn State, Maryland. A one-sided series where Penn State has only won one time against Maryland, and that was in 2019 in College Park, and they were explosive in that first quarter. And then as Maryland started chipping away, you could see Penn State making some mental errors, not executing properly. Some might say they panicked a bit in that game.
Knobloch with his first shot of the day and an easy save for Hunter Taylor. Michigan trying to work quickly. Knobloch did tell us earlier in the week he feels like he's gotten a lot of shots, but not very high-quality looks.
Well, you know, this is a Rutgers team. Shane Knobloch, to me, is a first-team All-American and potentially the Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year if he continues his performance. He needs support, as does Ross Scott, number 5 in black, an attackman tonight for the Scarlet Knights.
Those are the two cornerstones. Here comes Ryan Cohen, and it's just wide.
Yeah, Michigan won the substitution game. Cohen with a good outside bomb. You know, Cohen is a guy, key component to this Michigan offense. Mikey Boehm, number 5 in white with the ball. We talked about Justin Tiernan, but Cohen, he's a chess piece that can play attack or midfield. He starts tonight in the midfield.
Almost overlooked with how great Boehm and Tiernan have been this season. Here comes Cohen, up top. Quick feed inside. Bo Lockwood goes low, and it's swallowed up once again by Rutgers and Stoller.
Well, we've seen Stoller now, an outside bomb now right on his front porch, make 2 saves going to his butt and getting down low.
Here's Knobloch, loves to dodge, work down the alleys, and a pass over the top, a turnover for Rutgers.
We're gonna see a heavy dose of this first midfield unit of Knobloch, Cardilla, and Jack Amon. Second midfield features about 8 guys, and when we had Rutgers against Hopkins a couple weeks ago, that second midfield didn't see a ton of action, so we'll see how they're employed here this evening. Our first flag of the night will be against Rutgers, so we got a slow whistle opportunity.
And Michigan taking its time here. And the Wolverines coming off a loss to Hopkins, 15-11. Their second straight road loss for Michigan after losing to Notre Dame on the road previously. Here's Lockwood, a great distributor. Feeds Tiernan, and it's saved again by Stoller. He's been really good to start.
Stoller, redshirt freshman, talking with Brian Brecht. Officials are getting together, and I think they're trying to decide the severity, whether it's going to be head and neck contact or not. If it is head and neck, it could be locked in, and the officials.
Black 23, 1 minute cross check.
So there's no head and neck component to it. Even if there was, they couldn't review it, because the Big Ten Men's Lacrosse in 2024 is a conference not using replay. But this is a releasable foul versus, had it been to the head and neck area, could have been 1 minute or more locked in, meaning full time served.
And Michigan will go man up for the first time. A great man up offense. You see the numbers this year, vastly improved from last season when they were about 36%. Quick turning shot goes high for Tiernan.
I mean, you look at Stoller between the pipes. He's tall, he's rangy. Reminds me a little bit, not there yet, but Jack Frassian of Penn State, and his ability to get up and down, and his athleticism and his quickness between the pipes.
Tiernan turns again, and Stoller saves again.
we're not kidding when we say that Colin Cordilla, the midfielder, and Carden Stoller are probably candidate 1A and B for Big Ten Freshman of the Year. They've both won it on multiple occasions, and we're seeing why with Stoller between the 6x6.
Rutgers has been willing to play a lot of these young guys. Turnover here off a great check from Michigan, and Tiernan's denied again. Mark, he's been shooting from that same exact spot, and it's been the same result.
And they've gone high, they've gone low. Stoller is dialed in right now, number 92 in black. Referees stop play as the shot clock was not reset properly.
See Brian Brecht there, his 13th season. Helped lead Rutgers to the Final Four a couple of years ago. He knows that face-offs are going to be huge today. They need extra possessions for their top scorers, Scott and Knobloch.
Well, and face-offs and goaltending, and he's gotten a little bit of both so far. Brian Brecht has done a tremendous job with this Rutgers program and has a strong link between him and Michigan head coach Kevin Conry. Kevin Conry's first coaching job was as an assistant when Brecht was at Siena years ago. So those two know each other very, very well.
Yeah, Conry blamed Brian Brecht for getting into
Coach
coaching
Conry's
career.
wife blamed Brian Brecht.
That's exactly right.
Yeah,
Hunter Taylor comes up with the save.
Yeah, Kevin goes, my wife blames Brian Brecht for me being a head coach these days.
Yeah, Kevin Conry had just finished up his career. He was going up to a lacrosse camp, got out of the car. The first guy he sees is Brian Brecht. And on the spot, over a slice of pizza, offers him a coaching job. He's been a great mentor and friend to Kevin Conry, and now they're going at it tonight. Conry would love nothing more than to finally get off the schneid against Rutgers. 8 straight wins for the Scarlet Knights in this series. Here's Boehm, the all-time leading point scorer in Michigan history. That goes off the pipe in a high deflection, loose ball here. Scooped up by Michigan. Another shot denied again.
And Mulholland got waxed. No flag, legal hit. There's a flag for a slash. I'm surprised that Mulholland didn't earn the laundry, but on the subsequent ground ball, the flag flies. We'll have to take a look at the replay.
This thing has been physical to start.
Big Ten lacrosse, Jack. Welcome aboard.
We're in the thick of it now. Both teams know that their seasons are potentially on the line starting tonight.
So it's a cross check.
The Rutgers penalty is on number 29.
Yeah, it's slid up.
For a cross check, that's 1 minute.
Sidorsky, another Lehigh transfer. Excuse me, that's number 28 actually in black. That's Tommy Mendyke. PA announcer misidentified Mendyke as the guilty party. That was a clean check, Jack, until it slid up into the head and neck area.
Low shot on the turnaround for Michigan. Man up here from Aronson is wide.
And that's a difficult decision you make as an official. Did it come up because Boehm lowered his body and it just ran up his back, or? But typically when that stick gets in the cross-check motion, especially toward that head and neck area, it is going to earn a flag.
It did, and here's Tiernan. Out to Cohen. Skip across the way. Another shot goes wayward. This one from Christian Ronda, the Princeton transfer. 25 seconds left on the man-up clock. Quick feed inside, a quick shot, and the first score for the Wolverines. It's Aronson.
The good news for Rutgers is Carden Stoller has been on his toes and on his game here with many saves in the first quarter. The bad news is that was a cool dozen that Michigan has put toward the cage, and eventually you're going to figure it out. Nice skip pass by Bo Lockwood, and those are key on extra man opportunities. Skipping it, getting it behind the defense, and on senior night, Isaac Aronson the senior out of Potomac, Maryland, bounces it past Carden Stoller to tie this at 1.
His 12th goal of the season. Face off here. Wheatfeld chasing it. So is Cole Brahms. Still loose. Rutgers with a chance, and they scoop it up with LeJean Jones.
Great check. That was number 9, Cathal Roberts, with the
physical
check.
Near the crease here.
And we got a timeout called by Rutgers. It's been a minute since they've been on offense.
And they'll have it coming back. We're not at 1. It's been physical early in the heart of Big Ten play.
Grab 2 pieces of hot, juicy chicken, a side of mashed potatoes and gravy, and a biscuit for just $4.99.
Son of a bucket, that's a good deal.
New taste of KFC deals. Only at KFC.
With Armor All, a little bit of this protects you from a lot of that.
Armor All. Less work, more clean. Buy $20, get 5 back through May 31st.
Nothing scary about Energizer Ultimate Lithium, the #1 longest-lasting AA battery.
Lacrosse on the Big Ten Network is brought to you by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Senior day today for Michigan. You see Mikey Boehm, Justin Tiernan, 18 seniors, graduate students honored today, and Boehm, one of them. Our State of Success brought to you by State Farm. Michigan all-time leader in goals, assists, points. When we asked Kevin Conry about Mikey Boehm and the recruiting process for him coming to Michigan, they knew the first time that they met him that he could be the mayor of Ann Arbor, that type of personality and leadership.
Well, and Kevin Conry, quite honestly, he was just like, he's a stud of a human being. And he has helped transform this Michigan program. Really a brilliant 2020 graduating high school class. And you might look at it and say, okay, this is a Cleveland native, but he's got, go blue running through his veins. A lot of family members with Michigan connections made it easy for him. You got a kid that you theoretically should go to Ohio State running around as a kid at Michigan sporting events.
That's right. He was running around year 1 when this program was just starting in 2012. His brother-in-law, Trevor Yealy, the captain of Team 1.
Under the leadership of John Paul, who took the Wolverine program to varsity status a couple years after that 2012 year 1.
So Mikey Boehm said from 5 to 6 years old, he was a brainwashed Michigan fan.
Yeah.
And here he is. It's Boehm taking the shot. It's well wide. And Rutgers wins it, closest to it. And the Scarlet Knights take over with a 1-1 score here in the first.
Yeah, and actually the formation of varsity lacrosse here at Michigan helped form the Big Ten Conference. So that year 1, 2012, was followed a couple years later, 2015, first year of Big Ten men's conference lacrosse competition. And that Michigan win against Rutgers, the lone one in this series, that was our first ever Big Ten conference win back in 2015.
And it's turned into one of the best conferences in the country. Ridiculously competitive on a nightly basis. Had a couple of 1-goal games yesterday, and we're in store for some more fun tonight.
The theme this weekend has been defense, goaltending, and low scores.
And what do we have so far in the first?
Both so far in this one. First 11+ minutes in.
Stoller already with 6 saves, and Hunter Taylor with 2 for Michigan at this point. But Michigan has dominated the ball and the shot total as well. Physical once again, and Michigan turns Rutgers over.
Carson Billig with tremendous short stick defense just jacks up a Rutgers shorty, gets the ball on the carpet, and Michigan back on offense.
Justin Ennis was streaking into the offensive half. And Mulholland will wait for teammates here. A Michigan offense that's one of the best in the country, scoring about 14 goals a game. They lead the Big Ten in shots per game as well, living up to that so far. Already 14 shots tonight. Off the spin, Lockwood. Matched up with Machika. Lockwood dodges, attacking the crease, goes low. Hit Stoller, maybe the pipe as well, and Rutgers comes away unscathed.
Another nice save by Stoller. Bo Lockwood, healthy, missed a game earlier this year, took a couple other games to round back into form after suffering an injury, but he makes them that much more dangerous on the offensive end. Great save again by Carden Stoller.
And you compared him to Jack Frassion earlier in the game. Frassion's been the best goalie in the Big Ten the last 2 years. That's pretty high praise.
No doubt. And I think this year, when you look at the best goaltender, at least what we've seen so far through 3 league games, him and Chase Erlin from Johns Hopkins, I think, fit that mold. You know, it's called Specialist of the Year in the Big Ten, so it could be a face-off person like a Luke Weirman from Maryland or a Justin Wheatfeld from Michigan. But when you look at the goaltenders, I think Erlin and Frassion, in a very good goalie conference, have probably established themselves as the top 2.
Well, both have been very good tonight in Taylor and Stoller here at the University of Michigan Lacrosse Stadium. Great crowd for senior day. Game 3 of Big Ten play. Knobloch, shot clock winding down. Quick shot and a score. There's Ross Scott, one of the cornerstones for this Rutgers offense.
The graduate student from West Lynn, Oregon, the Pacific Northwest. He and Knobloch have been the faces of this program for the last couple years. There we see on the telestrator, we circle Ross Scott at X directly behind the cage. Michigan elects not to defend him, and that is way too much real estate for Ross Scott, number 5 in black, and that feels good because Scott, a third-team All-American a couple years ago, dropped down to honorable mention last year. His numbers are down a little bit, but he doesn't have as much offensive support as he had in that 2022 season when Rutgers went to the national semifinals.
Still leads the team in points this year. You saw that quick change of direction that he's shown throughout his career as a 5th-year senior, but he has been a problem in the Big Ten for a long time.
You have got to get somebody in his gloves.
Also got to get somebody on Justin Tiernan. The nation's leading scorer strikes back for Michigan.
Not a fan of the eye black, but hey, to each their own. This game has been cooking with gas. Early offense. This is basically a 5-on-5 situation. Not the greatest decision to try to jam it into Ryan Cohen, but because it skips to the backside, Justin Tiernan picks it up, flings it home. 41st of the year for number 44 in white.
And a goal now in 23 straight games, going back to his time at Lehigh when he had 46 goals last year. Tiernan has just been an unending wave of attack that Michigan has needed this year.
Well, when you look at, you know, the transfers, this is really the last year of the COVID guys and the influx. There'll be a couple next year, but Lehigh, John Sidorsky playing for Rutgers. You've got Justin Tiernan here playing for Michigan. Christian Moulet having a great year for the Syracuse Orange. That is a Lehigh program that has had some great players last year, and other programs now benefiting from their talents.
Here's Amon and low and wide. Also, you're not a fan of the eye black?
I don't mind eye black, a single stripe under each eye, but when you paint half your face black and the others, I just think it's a little, anyhow. I like that, though.
A lot of Rutgers fans like that from Ross Scott. His second goal, and the Scarlet Knights back in front.
Number 5 is feeling it. And Rutgers has come to play. Their offense looks very good and very crisp. Pick game has been a problem all year for Michigan. That time, Scott doesn't use the pick. And number 14 in white, that's Jack Whitney. I think he thought that there was going to be a switch, and he hesitated with the footwork. Scott gets top side, whips it far post, and Rutgers back up by 1.
You think picks could be a big part of this Rutgers offense tonight?
Without a doubt. Teams have been using picks all year long against Michigan. Michigan uses a ton of picks on their offense, but the communication piece and the confidence piece in Michigan with the pick game of Rutgers is something to really pay attention to.
20 seconds left here in the quarter. Knobloch, a quick dodge, found some space. Tough angle.
Yeah, you'll find out, Jack. The the eye black thing is me. That's the get off my lawn kind of moment.
He's got plenty. So we didn't see Mark Dixon at Hopkins with a lot of eye black. That's what you're saying. Around the crease, and again it is Scott. On fire to close out the first.
Ross Scott has consistently been not only one of the best offensive players in the Big Ten during his career at Rutgers, but in the country. Again, the pick game, that's simply not good spacing. And again, it's Jack Whitney just getting lost in the wash, really. Poor communication, allows himself to get picked, and basically the one picker for Rutgers took up 2 bodies for the Michigan Wolverines. And you allow Ross Scott the front swing like that with his hands free, we've seen 3 times what the end result is.
Last chance here with 2 seconds left, and it's way high. Ross Scott with a hat trick in the first quarter after scoring 1 goal against Michigan in his first 4 chances against the Wolverines. He has come to play today on the road. We've had some fireworks here in the first quarter. Hard a Big Ten play. What else would you expect? We've even got turkeys. It's 4-2 Scarlet Knights.
At the face-off dot was Luke Weirman, and Maryland thwarts the upset bid. Logan McNaney made a save with less than 30 seconds left in that one to seal the victory for the Terps. And Ohio State, look forward to seeing the Buckeyes next week. Next Sunday night, we'll have them against the Johns Hopkins Blue Jays. Should be a terrific game.
That Ohio State team's knocking on the door.
They've had some injuries this year, chiefly Bobby Van Buren, their best defenseman, All-American defender, has been out all season. But they've got Caleb Fyock between the pipes. Got some offensive players contributing as well. It's just, I think, just trying to get to 10 for Ohio State can be a challenge. And they did it once in Big Ten play, and that was last weekend against Rutgers, knocking off the Scarlet Knight Ball Club.
Yeah, 14-8. And that was Rutgers' 3rd straight home loss, unusual for them. In control here, hat trick for Ross Scott in the first quarter as Rutgers tries to pick up its first Big Ten win, and Michigan can move to 2-1 in Big Ten play here on Senior Day tonight in Ann Arbor.
That's already a season-high tying total for Ross Scott. He had 3 against Stony Brook back in February.
This one is Knobloch. Stings the top shelf.
Look at him shake his head. That was a rattler shot and a thing of beauty. This Shane Knobloch, I've been saying he's a first-team All-American. He could win the McLaughlin Award as well as the best midfielder in the country. Puts his foot in the dirt, spins, slide is late, and you could hear the rattle of that cage, and there is Shane Knobloch puffing his chest out. He should be a top 5, top 6 draft pick in the Premier Lacrosse League, the PLL, later this year when they hold their collegiate draft.
Yeah, he might be the best midfield prospect for the PLL in the country.
I mean, you look at the better midfielders in the country. Graham Bundy at Georgetown, Evan Plunkett at Army, Jake Stevens, Syracuse. I put Knobloch up against any of those incredibly talented players.
Now 25 goals this season, maybe the best all-around player in the Big Ten, and had the game winner in overtime against Michigan last year when they won it 13-12. Here's Rondo for Michigan, feeding Cohen, and back up top.
You know, you talked about the emotion, Jack, and rightly so. Senior night, a Michigan team that, and a senior class that hasn't beaten Rutgers, but it's Rutgers playing with, I think, more urgency here tonight, more emotion. They are playing like a team with their backs against the wall.
Yeah, it's a different type of emotion. You have the senior day aspect of it for Michigan, but a team on edge in Rutgers just trying to pick up that first win as Stoller comes up clutch again.
And think about the opening minutes of this game. Number 92 in black, all the saves that he made. Finally gave up one that made it 1-1, but I think watching 92, and you could see the emotion from the bench of Rutgers when Stoller was making those saves there, you know, that only buoys their confidence, saying, you know what, yeah, we can compete here tonight.
They're more than competing right now. Flag just flew with Rutgers on the attack.
It's going to be an offsides against the Wolverines, so a free possession here for Rutgers.
Let's see if Scott can work some more magic. Already 3 goals, like you said, matching his season high. This is Curdilla, one of the top freshmen in the Big Ten. Muscled away momentarily and towards the wing. Back to Scott, 15 to shoot. Scott beat it inside, quick turning shot, and it bounces home. Bit of a change up there from Jack Amon, but it works.
Jack Amon is typically an outside bomber, but here we're going to see the soft hands of number 33 on the interior. Watch him just go to an open space, catches it righty, and then turns, and just with a flick of the wrist. That's not bad defense. I think you just have to be a little bit more physical if you're Rowan Clay, number 3 in white, but you run the risk of a penalty and you already have a flag down. Credit Amon for keeping his feet moving. Did not become stationary. Whips it past Taylor.
Amon has been that third option along with Scott and Knobloch. Now 19 goals, second on the team in goals this season. He has had 2 goals in each of the last 2 against Michigan. His first tonight puts Rutgers up 4.
And Ross Scott with his 4th point. That assist was out of the cross of number 5. And if you're Michigan, okay, you just caught a break. Face-off won by Rutgers. They throw it away. This is an opportunity. You start chipping away. Settle down. You got yourselves a fight on your hands, as we knew that this game would be, and now it's time to start making plays.
Yeah, 11 to go here in the first half. Here comes Bame, their captain. All-time leading scorer as of recently. Mulholland, bad angle, and on the backup, Michigan will keep.
Michigan has a 6-on-5 right now, a broken stick. But the positioning of the restart allows Rutgers to make the exchange on the fly and get back to even strength.
Yeah, Machika just ran in hot. Here's John Morgan trying to turn the corner, and he lost it.
Yeah, this Rutgers team incorporated some zone in the last couple weeks. 2 weeks ago against Johns Hopkins, and it looks to be like a little bit of a pseudo zone that they're running. It's not exactly a zone, but a little bit pressure on the ball. But Mulholland had a shot when 2 black jerseys went to the same exact spot, and that time it was just running into the teeth of that defense, number 32 in white, John Morgan.
Amon straight away. Koulis turning and shoots it wide. And perhaps part of the reason they go to that zone, they are not experienced on defense at all.
This is a team that graduated everyone with the 70 inches of titanium last year, plus a new starting goaltender. And let's face it, you go to zone when you have confidence in your goalie, and that is something that is extremely high for the Rutgers coaching staff with Carden Stoller.
Just a redshirt freshman. He's been fantastic tonight already with 8 saves. Amon and Rutgers cruising right now, but Michigan, one of the top offenses in the country, and of course plenty of time. Tough look there for Knobloch. Michigan trying to move to 2-1 in Big Ten play. Rutgers 0-2, going for that first Big Ten win after a 14-8 loss to Ohio State last week. Nick Tereski. Here's Knobloch, goes lefty, ends up throwing it right to a teammate. Working past Billig, flag now flies. Shot clock approaching 10 on the rollback. Here's Knobloch on the doorstep, deflected away by Taylor. And a helmet off for Koulis too.
Koulis will have to come out of the game, and that is unfortunate because he is a part of the extra man offense. Shane Knobloch sees a short stick matchup, and he's licking his chops, and he's going to the rack. And there's the hold right there, takeaway advantage. But a rule this year is that if you lose your helmet as an offensive player, you have to come off, and you're not allowed into the game until the next dead ball. So what that means here in this situation is that number one, Dante Koulis, who lost his helmet, cannot be part of this extra man opportunity for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Now, if Brian Brett called a timeout, he could go in, but he's already had to burn one. He still has 8.5 minutes left of game action here in the second quarter. Don't want to burn it right now.
Instead, it's 5-on-5.
Still 6-on-5.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, not a penalty. It's just Koulis can't participate in the EMO. Somebody else had to take a spot on this extra man unit.
And the man-up chance expired now. Michigan back to full strength.
And that was, in essence, Jack, good eye. That was a 5-on-4 as they shut off number 27 in black, Shane Knobloch. So that, in essence, was 5-on-4. 6-on-5 in terms of the numbers of bodies on the field, but
right.
A 5-on-4 situation. And that throws teams off. So a nice little wrinkle by Michigan defensive coordinator Jim Rogalski.
Shot clock under 5. And nothing going for Rutgers this time.
That's a big defensive stand. And that save by Taylor was a thing of beauty, getting his shoulder, left elbow up, keeping Knobloch off the score sheet.
Michigan trying to hang in there as Rutgers really surged towards the end of the first quarter. And already a couple of goals here in the second. A Rutgers offense that has not been as prolific as years past. Shot numbers down after leading the Big Ten last year. They're currently 4th. But a ton of shots already tonight for both teams.
It's been fun so far, huh?
It's been great. It's been physical. It's been fast. Aronson had a tough look off the spin.
And you can see the aggressive sliding from Rutgers. Not in zone. It's a straight man, but they are coming hot with the slide. So if I'm Michigan, head up, and another broken stick. So we got a 6-on-5 for Michigan right now if they recognize.
Here they come. Lockwood on the fastball. It was blocked down. Ball now down and scooped up by Rutgers and Donnie Howard.
Second broken stick for Rutgers. The first one didn't result in an uneven situation, but that one did, and that's unfortunate for Michigan, as Lockwood's shot didn't even make it to the cage.
What's happened to this Michigan offense?
Carden Stoller. That's what's happened.
He's really stepped up.
And when you have a goalie make saves like that, you start thinking about it. You start thinking, okay, do I have to put the perfect shot? Do I have to place it instead of shooting? Carden Stoller has been dynamic in this game, particularly in the first 5-7 minutes.
Scott was looking for an angle, nothing there with Whitney defending. Now from straight away, shot wide from Cordilla.
Cordilla, a homegrown product, Scarlet Knight lineage. Kid who's been going to Rutgers sporting events. We talked about Mikey Boehm being a Michigan fan since a very young age. Same could be true for Cordilla, number 88 in black, as far as Rutgers goes.
Misses another shot there. Yeah, his dad, his three uncles played at Rutgers. Mom played softball at Rutgers. Older brother Brady on the team in the attack unit. He had no choice. Ooh, Scott off the pipe.
That looked like crossbar action. Ross Scott looks so rejuvenated tonight. Typically, like any great shooter, Jack, you hit that first one, and it just opens up your confidence so much more. Then you hit a second, and you're like, okay, I can do no wrong. I'm going to score a couple goals tonight and then maybe even play the lottery when I get home.
And he's experienced so many different types of situations, too. As a fifth-year senior, nothing's going to faze him. On the doorstep, it's Taylor this time making the save.
Held his ground, soaked up that shot.
Taylor up to 6 saves. Stoller with 8, 6-2 Rutgers still as we're under 5 minutes to go in the first half. See if Michigan can get something cooking here. They are out shooting Rutgers 21-20. Cohen trying to get downhill. Straight away, Boehm thought about it.
Rutgers in that zone, packing it in.
Tiernan trying to get loose. Boehm goes underhand, and it's Stoller cutting off the angle.
His reflexes are incredible. But one thing I am noticing, he does go low. He does drop. So maybe a pump, get him to drop, and then shoot that thing a little higher. But Carden Stoller, he has been sterling so far here tonight.
Showed flashes of what he could do earlier in the year when he had 19 saves against UMass.
Wonder if he learned that style at Camp Takaho back in the day.
Our coordinating producer, Alex Birchie, may have learned a thing or two at Camp Takaho.
Another Camp Takaho alum. Never been there, but I hear it is very, very nice.
Up in Naples, Maine, about an hour northwest of Portland. Now, Alex was thrilled to hear that Stoller went to Camp Takaho.
Oh, yeah.
Shot clock to 10 for Rutgers, trying to expand the lead here. Tereski. 7 to shoot. Tereski through traffic. Tereski had it muscled away. And the ground ball scooped up by Whitney. Mason Whitney, that is, in Michigan. Jack's younger brother, both in the defensive group for Michigan.
Michigan's defense has picked it up over the last 5 minutes or so. Hunter Taylor with saves and clamping down on their individual matchups.
Trying to get the offense. time. Last year it was Knobloch in overtime. He told us the play was for Ross Scott coming out of that timeout. He ended up taking it. He knew he had short time. Probably should have shot it righty or lefty, but he went righty and he scored anyway.
Yeah, it's offensive coordinator Eric Saramet was like, look, I don't care what hand you shoot it with as long as it goes in. But Knobloch, he's such a terrific player, and that just illustrates how close Michigan has been. Again, the only victory in 2015, the first in Big Ten program history. Trying to erase some of those demons here tonight, but number 92, Mr. Stoller, with another stab, another great save to keep this potent Wolverine offense at bay.
9 saves now for Stoller. He really helped make it 10, yeah, 10. On track for more than his career high already of 19.
I'm no math major, but if he does 10 this half and 10 next half, that's 20, right?
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Against this offense. Low shot from Amon. Bounces out of bounds.
But he's been a difference maker tonight for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights.
How so?
Kept Michigan off the board when they had a barrage of shots. They had 12 shots. While Rutgers had, 3-4, and were enjoying the majority of possessions, had 2 extra man opportunities. They did score on the second, but his handiwork early in the game set the tone for what we've seen thus far with the Rutgers Scarlet Knights.
Weathering the storm, and now Rutgers taking full control with 51 seconds remaining here in the first half. Let's check out the latest top 10 poll. Big Ten always frequently in there. Hopkins now at number 10, Maryland number 9, Penn State up at number 7. Penn State losing a heartbreaker, most certainly going to drop.
Right, and you look at the national scope of things. Notre Dame, in a replay of the 2023 national championship game, beat Duke earlier today. Army losing to Colgate. Penn State, 2 in a row now that they've lost. Big game next weekend for the Nittany Lions. Maryland will host this Rutgers team, and they may have saved their season with that come-from-behind victory over Penn State last weekend. Not only is it a W, but that was a huge shot of confidence for that lacrosse team. And then Johns Hopkins, of course, since a disappointing 2-game losing streak, losing to Syracuse and Navy, they have reeled off consecutive victories. And again, they're in the driver's seat when it comes to the Big Ten and grabbing that #1 seed in the Big Ten tournament, which will be hosted in Columbus, Ohio this year, Ohio State.
Oh, that's off the crossbar, I believe, again. Rutgers retains, 30 seconds to go.
They're the knowns. Number 27 in black, Knobloch. Number 5 in black, Ross Scott. They have balled out so far in this one.
They've never lost to Michigan. Don't want it to start tonight. Amon trying to turn the corner. 7 seconds left. Amon goes low, and Taylor comes out with the save.
A little tunnel vision for 33 in black. I thought he could have whipped that out to the left. He had a man open for a wide open step down. Taylor makes the stop, but if you're a Rutgers Scarlet Knight fan, you've got to be happy about this first 30 minutes.
How could you not? Coming on the road looking for your first Big Ten win. A Michigan team that beat Maryland here in the Big Ten opener. And Rutgers has continued its excellence against Michigan so far.
It really has been. Excellent performance, great execution, but the goaltending of Carton Stoller has been the stark difference in this first half.
Stoller 10 saves, Taylor 7 saves. Both teams settled down late in the second quarter. There was not much scoring after the early stages of the second. And Rutgers outscored Michigan 2-0 over the course of the second. We are now joined by Michigan head coach Kevin Connery. And Coach, Rutgers got going there late in the first quarter. What adjustments would you like to make defensively?
Yeah, I just think we got to do a better job understanding the matchups and supporting the 25 and 27 are two of some of the best players in the country, and we got to support our individual matchups.
Coach, offensively, you're getting looks, but number 92, Carden Stoller, has had some answers. What can you see doing differently shooting-wise in the second half?
You know what? I think we're getting great looks. We're getting to great spots. You know, it's just like snow on the roof. Eventually, it's going to cave in. So we're just going to keep pouring it on. Our guys are really talented shooters. He's having one heck of a night so far, but we got 30 more minutes here to get after it.
All right, Coach, appreciate the time. Good luck in the second.
Thanks.
It has been all Rutgers since the late stages of the first quarter. Leading Michigan on the road 6-2, going for a 9th straight against the Wolverines.
They're going to come out. They just got to figure out a way to beat number 92. They're getting clean looks.
And off the face-off, there's a lot of physicality. Rutgers loses it, and Michigan now takes it.
Wing play is so critical in the face-off game. We tend to focus on the one-on-one matchup, but really, it is 3-on-3 at the end of the day. And Spillane picked up a tough ground ball, 17 in black, and then just was hounded. Terrific job by Cathal Roberts, a native of Dublin, Ohio. I'm sorry, Dublin, Ireland.
Very different Dublin.
I was going to say, I get so used to lacrosse players from Dublin, Ohio, but Princeton transfer, but
part of a trio of Princeton transfers for this Michigan team.
Well, and Robert's hoping to bring the luck of the Irish this second half with to the Wolverines. But yeah, you mentioned Rhonda is another Princeton transfer, and Bo Pedersen, the short stick D midi.
Rutgers already with a momentum-building play as Tiernan was unable to convert. Here's what happened.
Shot, another save, and then the run out. Closest to the ball when and where it goes out, and the officials determined that it was number 22, Brandon Hund, in black. Mason Edwards, number 10, a short stick D midi, made a critical play to get Rutgers their first goal of the game, and now his compadre in the short stick defensive midfield crew. They call themselves NASCAR. Brandon Hund, number 22, making a gigantic play in the beginning of the third quarter.
Towson transfer, captain the last 3 years, has an assist in each of the last 2. Something small that is helping Rutgers get off to a good start here in the second half.
We saw last weekend, Jack, Eric Spanos of Maryland ran out 2 shots. Great hustle, great awareness, great intelligence, and that led to Maryland scores that helped flip that game in Maryland's favor.
Knobloch going low. Taylor comes up with the save.
Taylor has looked sharp from the second quarter on. I thought first quarter he was under some duress, trying to catch up to the speed balls from Ross Scott. No easy task. But I think over the last 12 minutes or so, he has been really, really good.
Yeah, he's now up to 8 saves, not too far behind Stoller. Stoller just has had a bit more flair for the dramatic, especially early. See the shots numbers there. When Rutgers has been over 40 shots in games this year, they're 4-0, and they're climbing to that quickly. Michigan on senior day, trying to claw back into this one. Move to 2-1 in Big Ten play. Cohen dodging, and Stoller's there. Stonewalls it.
Again, going low, that big frame, 6'1". And because of the handiwork of Stoller in the Rutgers net, Taylor in the Michigan net, we haven't had a goal since the 11.5-minute mark of the second quarter. So we're going on 15 minutes of game action, no scores.
Back to that defensive theme for the weekend after what we saw yesterday.
Michigan wanted a ward call on Rutgers, no dice. Scarlet Knights stay on offense.
Cardilla. And sends it up top for Knobloch. Plenty of space here for the Rutgers offense. Amon had his stick knocked out, and Michigan causes the turnover.
What a trail check. Rowan Clay De-twigging on State Street. Logan Peters loses his wand. Nice takeaway from number 3 in white.
Clay, the freshman. His older brother, Bryce, a captain for Michigan, graduated last year. Already making an impact for the Wolverines in plenty of ways this year.
Well, Bryce Clay graduated. Josh Sawada, graduate transfer, now playing for Duke. So this is a Michigan team that did well in the transfer portal. You mentioned the Princeton gentlemen, Rhonda, Pedersen, Roberts, Tiernan, against a program in Rutgers that has lived in the transfer portal over the last few years. This year, no different. They've suffered some injuries.
Another save. Yeah, that's Rutgers program. Shane Knobloch said Brian Brecht has been a beast on the recruiting trail.
And especially in the transfer portal. They've got one player, Colin Kelly, a transfer from Canisius, who was lights out in their preseason scrimmages. He's been out, injured. They hope to get him back at some point this season.
Ball down, still not with anybody. Michigan closest to it with Aronson.
And Michigan's got some work to do. They've got to figure out how to beat Stoller, and I just feel like if one drops, that could up there and boost their confidence.
Can Bame be the one to break the seal?
He's certainly shown it over his career.
Maybe
Rutgers
Lockwood.
They've done a great job on him tonight.
Yeah, he's been nearly non-existent. Oh, he had a close range shot there.
This Michigan offense is getting looks, and they're moving the ball well.
Bame had 4 goals against Rutgers last year. But this Michigan team, one of the top scoring teams in the Big Ten and the country, 2 goals well into the 3rd quarter.
This is kind of crazy when you think about it. A little bit of a baseball score, maybe. You know, that if we're in the 5th or 6th inning.
Part of baseball season too. And Rutgers has the first goal of the second half. Logan Peters with his 2nd of the year.
Not only is that a huge goal because it's the first of the second half, it's the first in almost 18 minutes of game action, but this is a juice goal because this is a kid who just doesn't score a lot. You mentioned only his 2nd goal of the season, and the bench exploded when number 7 hit the far post with that high to low offering. Logan Peters, a sophomore, providing a big marker and a juice goal for this Rutgers team.
Also the 3rd goal of his career and the 2nd straight game he has scored. 5 unanswered now for Rutgers. Assist to Knobloch. Rutgers up 5. And they've got possession again.
And the confidence with which they're playing. They've been playing confident since the opening whistle, but that marker, you could just see a little bit more pep in the step from Jack Amon on that clear.
Best you've seen Rutgers this year?
Without question. They played well against UMass, a 10-9 victory. Carden Stoller made 19 saves. But tonight, here in enemy territory, on senior night against Michigan, conference game, you're 0-2. This is particularly impressive thus far.
Cardilla near the crease, rolls back. Around the wheel to Amon. 10 to shoot. Amon found some space. Taylor made the save, now smothers it. A Michigan team that has been under double figures in goals 1 time all year. And that was a 19-9 loss at Notre Dame.
Yeah, on the road, defending national champions. Got the better of the Wolverines that day. Michigan didn't play poorly in that game. It was just Notre Dame played as well as you might be able to put together 60 minutes of lacrosse.
The fact they're still stuck on 2 is remarkable. Around the crease goes Lockwood and missed it. On the backup, it's Cohen. Ryan Cohen now close range and just chucks it out of bounds.
Yeah, now I feel like Michigan is pressing a little bit. This possession in particular, forcing it somewhat. But they're borderline desperate right now to get their 3rd tally of the game. They need something positive to happen for them on the offensive end.
And there it is. Aiden Mulholland finally breaks the seal for Michigan. Their first goal since the early stages of the first quarter.
It's been a minute since we've heard "Hail to the Victors." The action behind the cage. So we get a good look at the youth lacrosse players out here at Michigan Lacrosse Stadium. Good pick, miscommunication by the Rutgers defense. Shane Knobloch stuck, quote unquote, on defense and offensive midi. And number 27 in white, his counterpart, front swings, gets one-on-one and bounces it past Carden Stoller.
Mulholland pretty consistent the last couple of years, double-figure goals each season. This ball still loose, picked up by Michigan. Make it, take it here. Chance to carve into the lead.
Jackie Weller, the freshman, taking one for Wheatfeld. Credit the defense. That was a nice little play by Jack Whitney, number 14 in white. He batted it forward. It was coming into the box, and as a defender, you got to make a decision. Am I going to scoop through that and run out and run the risk of stepping out of the box before possession is really gained in the eyes of the officials, or bat it forward? And he does that, and Weller gobbles up the ground ball.
Chance to make it 7-4. Their first goal since the 150 mark of the first quarter, coming from Mulholland moments ago. Cohen to the doorstep, and there's another. Here come the Wolverines. John Morgan, 2nd of the year.
The crowd is back into this game. You can hear them stomping their feet on the metal bleachers here at the University of Michigan Lacrosse Stadium. Michigan has been running this play repeatedly. It's a simple sweep left. It draws the eyes and attention of the Rutgers defense. And watch Morgan slip free, feed down low, and he puts it past Carden Stoller. Michigan is back on the board. They're feeling confident. Can they make a run on senior night?
On Saturday, you can stream men's lacrosse live on Big Ten Plus when the Wolverines clash with the Nittany Lions. There's no plus like home. Download Big Ten Plus and subscribe today. Kevin Connery's Wolverines have lost to Rutgers 8 consecutive times. Their only win coming back in their first season of Big Ten play in 2015, 10-8. Michigan on April 5th of 2015. Michigan down 7-2. Rutgers in the driver's seat to win its 9th straight, but Michigan rallying before the timeout.
Well, and that's a tough play by Michigan in the face-off game. Bo Pedersen just dragged one of the Rutgers guys, pasted him between the numbers, but Rutgers stayed focused, stayed on the ball, pick up the GB, and now they can try to staunch the bleeding a little bit and stop this 2-goal Michigan run.
Here comes Scott, who chucks it out of bounds. Rutgers keeps. He had a hat trick in the first half.
I mean, you really feel like Michigan, they've dominated possession time here in the third quarter, and big 2 goals to show for it. But again, credit Stoller for his handiwork between the pipes.
Michigan's also caused 8 turnovers to this point. A lot of stats in favor of the Wolverines, but Stoller has seemingly negated all of them.
He has, and the one stat that is the ultimate dictator is Rutgers up by 3 right now.
Approaching the 4-minute mark of the third quarter. Again, Rutgers going for its 9th straight win over Michigan. A team that Michigan just can't seem to get a hold on in the Big Ten. Tereski, 5 to shoot. Tough angle shot and bounces off the side of the cage out of bounds.
And although that's not a goal, it hit the side pipe, and that constitutes a reset. So 60 seconds for Rutgers now with which to work with that shot clock reset.
Michigan's had some good moments defensively, as you saw, forcing 8 turnovers to this point. Rutgers held in check for the most part on the offensive end since the early stages of the second quarter. On the quick turn, Taylor stops it.
Ross Scott mixing it up a little bit. Typically when he comes around and gets top side, he likes to go low to high. That time he kept it low, low. And Taylor was able to snuff that out, smothers it, makes his 10th save of the night.
Michigan looking for another quick goal and a bouncing goal. It's Morgan for a 2nd consecutive time.
It's a mosh pit on the Michigan sideline. Watch Taylor get low. Nice save, had his right foot behind the stick, keeps it out. And John Morgan, early offense, the trailer, and look at the shot. We mentioned Stoller. He likes to drop low. Watch him drop low, and the high bouncer solves number 92 in black. High bouncers, Jack, will go. And that is John Morgan's 2nd consecutive goal, and I loved how he changed the level of that shot.
This is absolute chaos for the ball right now as Brahms couldn't scoop it up. And Rutgers momentarily controlled it. And it's Michigan ball. But Mark, how about John Morgan? Last 2 years, didn't play last season, played 3 times as a freshman, scored his first career goal against Maryland a couple of games back, and now he has 2 tonight.
He's played well. And on a night where Mikey Boehm is being throttled, Justin Tiernan is being, really the whole Michigan offense has been throttled by Carden Stoller. You need to find secondary scoring, depth of scoring, and John Morgan has provided that here in the third quarter for Michigan.
Mulholland as well, here he is. Mulholland, oh, quick dodge, found some space, Stoller again. The redshirt freshman has been fantastic. Double-figure saves in 5 straight now.
So Rutgers, it was some type of procedure call that gave Michigan the ball.
Whoa. What a response. And who else but Knobloch, the heart and soul of this team.
Carden Stoller gets it figured out on his end after giving up 3 consecutive tallies to the Wolverines. He comes up with a big stop. And when it goes the other way, you have got to come hard in the slide game on number 27. He can shoot right, he can shoot left. Knobloch showing why he is potentially Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year, and he's a first-team All-American and could be the best midfielder in college lacrosse, win the McLaughlin Award.
2 goals tonight now. Another war on the ground, and Michigan has it with Cahal Roberts. But Knobloch said, I like coming from up top, I like working down the alleys, and that's exactly what happened.
He just likes playing lacrosse, and he's a threat from anywhere on the field. Again, he is a guy that will be playing professional lacrosse in the PLL. I expect him to be the first midfielder off the board in the draft. And it could go as high as 5, 6.
He'll be up there for sure.
I mean, we're coming into this game, Jack, talking about Knobloch, potential Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year, Cordilla Endor Stoller as Freshman of the Year, and they hadn't even won a game in Big Ten play. That's how talented those guys are.
Quick turn and Bame denied. Also shows the talent of the conference, why they're winless.
Absolutely.
About 30 seconds to go here in the quarter. Aronson in traffic.
Aronson got rodeoed twice, taken down.
And held on.
And no flags. That is strength and toughness from number 22 in white on senior night.
10 seconds. Lockwood down. Physical defense, 5 seconds. Lockwood looking for anything, and Lockwood just chucks it right to Stoller.
Look at the Rutgers bench. They are pumped. Physical and controlled lacrosse. They took that last minute to the Wolverines.
You think they have some confidence?
Adam Sherlin-Beatis, Kieran Mullins, obviously Ross Scott, Shane Knobloch, but boy, Beta is up amongst the Mount Rushmore of Rutgers lacrosse in terms of greatest players in program history.
Knobloch and Ross Scott will be up there as well.
I said it. I said that.
Just reaffirming.
I don't need parents or grandparents coming after me, Jack. you got to make sure you give the guys their love, because you're going to find out, man, lacrosse, they'll come after you.
It's a tight-knit community. Here's Bame. Already one of the Michigan greats. All-time leading goal scorer, assister, point scorer. Morgan with 2 goals tonight. Michigan outscored Rutgers 3-2 in the third.
Wow.
And a pass over the top, just a missed connection there.
And 40 in white, Ryan Cohen, 5 in white, Mikey Bame. They're the oil, really, of this Michigan offense. And they have been held off the score sheet tonight. Credit Rutgers for keying on those 2 very talented players.
Pressure here from Michigan, they get the turnover.
Cathal Roberts has been a problem in the middle of the field for Rutgers all night.
Lockwood tried to find Tiernan near the crease and was behind him.
Yeah, and again, just a little bit of a force right there. I understand you haven't had a ton of offensive success. You're down by 3 goals, but there is still a ton of time left in this game. Don't force it if it's not there. Not really the appropriate time to take a risk. And remember, even if you have to spend a minute to score a goal, you've got one of the best face-off men in the conference, in the nation, in Justin Wheatfeld. Have confidence that you're going to get the ball back. Surprised it wasn't a flag. Whitney saw the pick, and he blew it up. That oftentimes will earn you laundry on the field.
Amon, stop Taylor. Wolverines on the rally. Quickly getting downhill, and Pedersen just missed.
Love that take from Pedersen. Head of steam, downhill, just wide.
A guy who thought about playing football this year instead chose lacrosse, and Michigan coming from Princeton, and one of the most athletic defensive middies in the nation last year with the Tigers.
Native of Park City, Utah, 6'4". He is a specimen.
Another near goal for the Wolverines.
Pipe.
Tiernan dancing with it. On the back down. Out to Cohen. Plenty of time on the shot clock, under 40 now. 12 minutes to go, game time. Lockwood from the X, straight away. And back to Lockwood. Michigan patient here. Boehm with 15. Boehm working inside, bouncing ball is loose for the moment, but Stoller just smothered that play.
Yeah, and a good call by the official. Boehm was in the crease. Let that play out a little bit in case Stoller was able to pick it up quickly and get it out for transition, but he wasn't. So Boehm trying to make something happen, but this Rutgers defense really packing it in again on that little pseudo zone. I'm not sold that it's pure zone, but I tell you, you try to drive to the middle of the field or underneath, they are there.
Stoller's obviously been a factor. Do you feel like the zone has been part of the reason, or the pseudo zone, that Michigan is way under its scoring average?
Again, Rutgers is a team that has never run zone that I can recall in covering, 10 years of Big Ten lacrosse, 10 seasons of Big Ten lacrosse. But going to that zone against Hopkins, they've run it a couple times, and they slowed the Blue Jays down in that game. Eventually lost, but I think they saw something there in terms of, yeah, we can make this work.
Roberts lost his stick, and Knobloch was wide. .40 shots for Michigan, 32 for Rutgers. Back to 39, actually, for the Wolverines, but quickly approaching 40. And again, in higher shooting games, that has been advantage Rutgers every time they've been over 40. They are 4-0.
Approaching that as we speak.
Yep.
38. That was a hold inside. We think of that as almost like pass interference in football. Brian Breck not happy with the officials. Looking at his card. He's looking at that card because the referees give him a card before the game with their names on it. You can see Coach Breck just looked at the cards. Hey, come here.
It's more effective when you know the guy's name.
Absolutely. That is a veteran coaching move, to grab the official's card out of your pocket and remind yourselves of the names.
He's a fiery guy. He's got to have that handy. Coming in quickly, Morgan, and Morgan has a hat trick. Another much-needed goal for Michigan.
Good offense from the Wolverines. And I think for maybe the first time tonight, Stoller was caught off guard. I don't think he expected Morgan to let that thing fly. Nice job by Mulholland. Look at the defense, how tightly packed in it is around the crease. And then that's a 5-hole action between the wickets from 32 and White. Sets up, fires. Stoller got a piece of it with his thigh, but it had just enough to get past him. Morgan, the hot hand for Michigan here tonight.
And the 40th shot for the Wolverines. Morgan's third, a career game for him. Chance to cut it to one. Quickly, in transition. It's the senior Kyle Stevenson.
Stevenson scores the goal, but credit this tally to number 9, Cahal Roberts, in white. Watch the action. Wheatfeld wins it. Great play by Brams. Roberts almost picks it up, but he seals off the Rutgers wing and allows Wheatfeld to get it, flips it over to Stevenson, and he is able, again, that's mid-biscuit. You talk about top ched, mid-biscuit, low pie. Stoller again going to Splitsville. Jack giving up that middle part of the cage, and Stevenson finds it.
Mark has a whole menu of analogies there with 3 food references.
We have been fed well tonight. Tip of the cap to Scott Kemps. Brought us some maize and blue deli. And I still can't believe it. The first time you've ever had chicken cutlet.
I'm not an East Coast guy.
Seriously, first time you've ever had a chicken cutlet.
It was good.
And we got to get, and Rutgers, they take care of us as well when we go. Jordan Ozer, their SID. Fantastic with the crusty pizza. We always eat well in Big Ten lacrosse.
Something we can hang our hat on.
Oh,
But how about Kyle Stevenson, senior on senior night? And talking to Kevin Conroy earlier this week, he pointed to Kyle Stevenson specifically as someone who could potentially step up and have a big moment, and there it was.
And, you know, Kevin Conroy's had success at Michigan for a reason. You know your players, you read your players. That is so important at this level of lacrosse, to be in tune with your student athletes, especially in this era where, you know, really a head coach, your coach is your coordinator. If you're an offensive player, it's your offensive coordinator. Defensive coordinator, defense. But the head coach really needs to be in touch with the entire roster. And Conroy recognizing that from Stevenson is huge, and he delivered.
Delivered for his coach. Said he wanted his team to play the way that these seniors deserve in their final home game. A class that helped put Michigan on the map. Winning their first Big Ten tournament last year, going to the NCAA tournament for the first time, also picking up a win in the tournament. Here's Rutgers trying to answer, and they do. It's Amon.
Gigantic answer from the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Amon with his second catch, turn, and shoot tally of the night. And look at the assist man. It is the talented freshman, number 88 in black, Colin Cordilla. Watch him draw the defense, senses where the slide came from. And it's Flex City here at University of Michigan Lacrosse Stadium. Amon with the marker.
And Amon looking like vintage Mark Dixon with those guns.
I don't know about that, but I appreciate the compliment.
Late 90s weren't that long ago.
30 years, my man. Graduated from college. Reunion was this weekend at Hopkins. I couldn't make it, but 30 years, brother.
And you have graced the Big Ten with your presence for a long time. Jack Kizer, Mark Dixon, former Hopkins attackman and midi. It is great to have you with us in Ann Arbor. 9-7 Rutgers now, 7 to play, and Michigan with the ball. Straight away, Bame saved.
Great save by Stoller, not only to get down and snuff it, but clean. No rebound given up, and you had a couple of hungry Wolverines on the doorstep waiting for that rebound, and Stoller with the clean stop. Big 2 minutes of action here for Rutgers with the Amon goal, the Stoller save, and now it's about game management. If you're the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, be smart, but don't be overly cautious with the ball.
Let's see how they approach this possession. Fans have been so into it tonight. This has been an awesome crowd in Ann Arbor.
It's a great atmosphere. This is a tremendous facility. We'll see another lacrosse-only facility next week when we go to Ohio State. Their stadium is brilliant for lacrosse. Panzer, another one. We were there last weekend. Panzermonium was rocking.
Bouncing shot. Goes right past the goal. Rutgers with 16 on the shot clock. Here comes Tereski with some speed. Still behind goal. Cordilla. 5 to shoot, and Cordilla is off the mark.
Rutgers wants a reset, but there has been no signal. That looked like it either went off a pipe or was a save. We'd have to get another look at that. The direction of the ball certainly looked to be changed. Let's take a peek. There's the shot. That's a good call. That is a good no call. Hit the back of the net. That does not count as contact for a shot clock reset. Then on the failed clear, Rutgers comes up with it again. That's a big mistake by Michigan.
Van Wees was not able to scoop it up, and Rutgers takes hold once again, up by 2. We're approaching the 5-minute mark here. It's getting down to crunch time.
It is, and that was a big possession for Rutgers. They milked the entire 80 seconds. and then when they didn't score, they get the ball right back on the good ride.
Rutgers a chance for its first Big Ten win tonight. Can move to 7-4, 1-2 in Big Ten play. Michigan on senior day trying to move to 2-1 in conference. Cardilla just circles back out. Patient for the freshman. Now it's Knobloch from up top, and Knobloch not able to convert.
Not able to convert, but that is a shot clock reset. And Kevin Connery recognizes his defense is gassed, and he'll use a timeout.
With 4:28 to go, heading down to the wire. Michigan's made multiple pushes here in the second half. Rutgers trying to hang on.
And rating services, but he's not the only diaper dandy when you think about this Rutgers team. Check out Stoller and Cardilla. Stoller, a 3-time freshman of the week. Cardilla, 2-time. You got the big tasty Caleb Fyock in there 2 times, a goalie for the Buckeyes. And then Kyle Lehman, talented offensive player for Penn State. And then Quentin Kilrain has been a dynamic addition to that Johns Hopkins defense. Lefty, long pole.
Plenty of talented freshmen, but 2 of the best here with Rutgers, and we have another timeout.
It's Rutgers calling that timeout. They did not like the way that possession started. It was a little havoc, and this is at 4 minutes and 8 seconds remaining in the game. You've got 2 timeouts. You can't take them with you. Burn 1 here, get a smart possession, 41 seconds on the shot clock. And again, game management is what this is all about for Rutgers.
A Rutgers team going for its first Big Ten win. Right now at the bottom of the standings, 2 one-goal games yesterday. Maryland getting the 1-goal win over Ohio State, vaulting into second place for now. Michigan could be right there with them with a win, but having to come from behind.
Yeah, again, all 6 teams make the Big Ten tournament. April 27th is quarterfinals. You'll have 3 versus 6, 4 versus 5, with the higher seeds hosting, and whoever gets those 1-2 seeds, they get the bye automatically into the semifinals. And it's the second season, a 5-week gauntlet. Next week we see Michigan will travel to Penn State to take on a hungry Nittany Lion team that's dropped 2 in a row. TJ Malone, sensational offensive talent. Jack Fracion between the pipes. Rutgers and Maryland. You want to talk about a team that has had another team's number. Maryland has not lost to Rutgers since 1980, I believe, and have not lost since each joined the Big Ten. And then you could wash it all down Sunday night. Lights here on the Big Ten Network. Hopkins and Ohio State. The Blue Jays, they struggle when they go to Columbus. First time they'll be playing in the new Ohio State Lacrosse Stadium, and it'll be interesting to see that Buckeye team under the bright lights on network for the first time, how they come out next Sunday night.
A team that's been really close. And for Rutgers facing Maryland, they've lost 19 straight, 1-36 all-time against the Terps. But Rutgers has had Michigan's number, winning 8 straight. And in control on the road. Michigan's senior day, trying to spoil it. Knobloch spinning. Cahal Roberts on him, and Knobloch misses.
You want to talk about a broadcast crew for that Hopkins-Ohio State game, it'll be me and Greg Bice, the All-American defenseman from Ohio State. So you got a Blue Jay alum and a Buckeye alum. Got to try to make it through the broadcast in one piece.
You guys are going to go at it in the second quarter.
Oh, no, that would not be a fair fight. Greg would crush me like a grape.
A lot of fun left in Big Ten play. Starting with these final 3 minutes here tonight. Does Michigan have one last surge?
You think that they could, and there's plenty of time left. That was a good defensive stand by the Wolverines. I like the clock management for Rutgers. But this game, by no stretch of the imagination, is out of reach.
Up top, Ronda off the mark.
That had some pepper to it.
He's faced this Rutgers team quite a bit, going back to his Princeton days. 5 goals, 2 career games against Rutgers. Under 3 to go. Michigan with it. Cohen.
Almost like a backer zone by Rutgers with their crease guy not leaving. And he's sliding aggressively.
Stoller near his neck.
Not only was that a great save, but the rebound popped out. And there you have 44. Justin Tiernan licking his chops, and Stoller snares it away from Tiernan to prevent the putback.
Michigan's in trouble now. 2 minutes to go. About 60 on the shot clock. Rutgers up 2 with it.
You can see Rutgers just spreading the field. It's not about scoring anymore at this point. It is about milking the clock. Empty net for Michigan as they've elected to go full-fledged pressure. And it pays off.
They got it. Clean scoop, and here they come. Cohen on the charge, 90 seconds left. Patterson saves Stoller. Wow, down low.
Kick save and a beaut, getting close to the NHL playoffs, and that was hockey-like. Michigan in the Frozen Four. Timeout by Rutgers. Holy mackerel, was that a save from Carden Stoller.
Mark, that last one had some serious heat, but 2 big saves in a row.
This is what you have to do. Look at the save and look at the pop out and the hand speed. The reflexes of Stoller to snatch it away from Tiernan, and then Pedersen bringing the heat, and Stoller got that right leg out. And you kind of know it's going to be your night when something with that velocity comes at you and you redirect it, and then the redirect goes right to the stick of Shane Knobloch. Beautiful handiwork by Carden Stoller, redshirt freshman for Rutgers.
18 saves, 1 shy of his season and career high. But considering the atmosphere, the opponent, the stakes, with Rutgers' first Big Ten win on the line, game of his career, for sure.
And when you look at the remaining schedule of Rutgers, I mean, you never want to go into Maryland with any bad mojo, but the last place you want to go if you're Rutgers is into College Park 0-3. So if they can hold on here, that gives them some confidence, gives them some momentum. And then that game against Penn State is always a treat on rivalry day, last day of the regular season. We'll have Michigan, Ohio State, Hopkins, Maryland, and then it's Penn State, Rutgers. Carden Stoller, when he came in, we mentioned he wasn't one of the more celebrated goaltenders in the class, high school graduation class of 2022. Redshirted him last year. They had Kyle Mullen, a grad transfer from Harvard that fit the bill. And Brian Breck and his staff recognized and said, we got a really good one here. We want to maximize his eligibility and his play time, and that's why he was redshirted. And boy, they look like geniuses right now.
And it goes back to what Brian Breck told us. He's going to have to be better than good some nights, and he has been outstanding tonight. Back to Michigan.
They vacated the goal again, and they de-sticked Ross Scott. That's illegal procedure because you can't play without your stick, and the defense has to have a clear path to the ball.
A little bit of life here. Cohen muscled away some space. 45 seconds. And a timeout. Kevin Connery's going to try and set up a play to give Michigan a chance.
You can see the double. It's Rowan Clay partnering up with Mason Whitney, Jack Whitney's younger brother, and they de-stick Ross Scott. So second time they've been able to use the high pressure to create a turnover. This is a situation you need a quick hitter if you're Michigan. I am looking for Boehm or Morgan. Morgan's had the range. Look for Morgan maybe coming off of a pick and for a step down, number 32 in white.
This is who Michigan has coming up. Penn State, very difficult on the road. And then rivalry week with Ohio State, like you said.
this is the end of home cooking for Michigan, and coaches talk about it all the time. You get 5 games, and depending upon what year you're in, you either get 3 at home or 2 at home. Michigan this year getting, we got to do the math. Let's see, they have Maryland at home, Hopkins on the road, and Penn State next week is here. So you try to win, the bottom line is you try to win all your home games. Like, you try to defend your home turf, especially in conference.
I think they're at Penn State, then home against Ohio State.
Thank you for bailing me out, because, I mean, not having it right in front of me, lost track.
Everybody's going all over the place. It's easy to lose track. They are at home tonight against Rutgers for Senior Day.
So the last home game, basically, in the regular season, unless they host potentially a quarterfinal game.
Yep.
Which they did last year. Look, this was they were the number 4 seed last year, and then they ran the table. This is taking too long, yeah.
And it got away from them, too. Out of bounds, back to Rutgers, and that might do it. Blaine across midfield, and this Rutgers fan section erupting with 12 seconds to go. It's going to be a 9th consecutive win for the Scarlet Knights over Michigan. And a final stop from Stoller is fitting. The redshirt freshman carries Rutgers to its first Big Ten win.
If you don't think the stakes are high,